English translation 266th contact. Tuesday, 16th of June, 1998. 0:51 hours.
Welcome, my friend. It is my pleasure and relief to see you well. Florena informed me about what was happening, which is why I came here as soon as possible.
Nice to see you again. Hello, my friend.
Edward, I was really worried about you and just as horrified as Florena.
Aha, she also told you that she was horrified.
Yes. Unfortunately, Florena came too late with her warning, which was also because she recognized the danger too late. We also did not expect you to be attacked again, but we thought that these machinations were finally over.
Unfortunately, a deception. But did you find out anything more about the matter?
We did, yes. The whole thing undoubtedly leads back to the men in black, namely to those who do not have a form of governmental secret service.
Then there are those thugs, who can encrypt their coordinates of origin in such a manner that you have not been able to crack them yet. That is what Florena also said. But now what next?
According to the records of the control disk, the assassin was undoubtedly a human being from the Earth, who nevertheless is a resident outside the control field, because outside the control field, his trail is lost. Of course we could find the man, because he was one of them. But that should be useless, because he certainly does not know anything about the telehypnotic influence and command by the men in black. We are certain that he carried out the 2 assassinations attempts without being aware of it, as was also the case in the past with all other attacks for which Earth humans were hypnotically forcibly abused.
So both attacks were committed by the same person.
That is what I said, yes. And for you caution is required, because as we now judge the matter, attacks on your person's body and life can occur again in the future. So I think it is good that you carry your gun again.
Unfortunately, I can only do this on the center grounds in the immediate vicinity, because the authorities do not allow me to carry a weapon outside.
I am aware of this, but the danger on the center grounds is greater than elsewhere outside, even though there have been several attacks on you in other places, which were not harmless either.
I know, but I have to live with that. But let us leave this topic alone, because the matter is over. So let us talk about something else.
You always take such matters so lightly. The group members and we are much more worried about you about these issues than you are. You should not be too careless. Even though our control sensors can prevent the particular group of men in black responsible for the attacks from entering the center grounds, they still have the opportunity to inflict damage on you by unstable Earth humans with telehypnotic influences.
I am being careful, but that does not mean that I have to be scared.
As on several occasions, these 2 assassination attempts narrowly missed, causing you serious harm.
I know, but fear's the wrong partner when you have to face danger.
There you speak a word of truth.
Well then, just the proper caution is appropriate. But may I now deviate from this topic, because I still have something to ask you that would be important for me to know.
Of course.
Good. Just about 11 hours ago, I received a fax from Kopverlag, or from the publisher of the UFO couriers Jochen Kopp, in which he asked me to give him and a Joachim Koch and Hans Kyborg an appointment on the 27th of June to answer their questions about slander by my wife, B, and Korf. Since I do not know these people, and I'm not willing to have to make unworthy efforts in the form of an account, I asked Michael for advice and received the answer that these 2 types, Koch and Kyborg, were crop circle manufacturers and claimed that they had contact to beings of the Orion star formation. Now the question whether you know anything about these 2, Joachim Koch and Hans Kyborg.
You often ask us such things that we cannot always answer, because we simply cannot deal with all these concerns. We have more important tasks, which are incumbent upon us, than to deal with senseless things. In the case of the aforementioned, however, we have knowledge of their machinations, which are all of an idiosyncratic character and therefore have nothing to do with truthful events in the form of contacts or messages. These are therefore only stories, etc., which are made up by the two themselves.
This relates with Michael's statements. He is very knowledgeable about such things, which is why I like to ask him for advice. He is also a very open, honest, and responsible person.
Your words put the facts clearly as they are. I am happy to send him my greetings if you would like to do this for me.
I will. Do you still have time for another question, or are you in a hurry because you came head over heels?
I am not in such a hurry.
Thanks. Simyase, Ketzel and you talked to me several times during our contacts about the existence or non-existence of life forms in our SOL system. I have always understood that in our conversations, there was only talk about higher life forms than about human life forms. We never talked about the lowest life forms. That is to say, we never officially talked about them. Is that right?
Yes, that corresponds to the circumstances. Why do you ask?
I was just asked about it, and it was said that we talked about the fact that there were no other life forms in the SOL system than those on Earth.
This does not correspond to the correctness, because we always only spoke about the fact that there are no other forms of life of human form beyond Earth in the solar system, but also not any spirit forms that other SOL planets would inhabit. Microorganic life forms exist, however, on different moons and planets of your solar system.
Thank you, that had to be clarified once. Then I have here still a small newspaper article from 24.7, 1995, which I forgot again and again. Now, I thought I would take it with me if you would take me away from the office, so I could see the glorious starry sky and the world from above. Here, what do you think?
What is explained here corresponds to the facts. Not only is the risk of breast cancer higher in women through smoking, but lung cancer, throat cancer, and various other cancers are also at greater risk through smoking in both sexes.
I have put all the questions to you.
Then I would like to talk to you now in private, because I assume that you consider our conversation so far as official.
That is right. But one last question I forgot. When you were with me in the Nazca Plain, where I saw the flock pictures, you took me to another place where there were much bigger scrape pictures to see. Now I do not remember the name of the place and the country.
It was the area of Palpa in Peru.
Ah, yes, exactly. That was the name of the area. Thank you. But now another question comes to mind, if you do not mind.
Ask my friend.
Thank you. You once mentioned that under the legacy of your father, Sfath, there was an ancient record of Nocodemion that you once wanted to show me. But you have obviously forgotten about it.
I have not forgotten about it, but I will not be allowed to show it to you until the time has come, because my father has arranged it so in his testament.
I see. Then I will not ask any more questions. Thank you. Then we can move on to the private matters.